Shalom. I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the 04 elect tabernacle of David scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And when you watch this video, which this is the Believers of the Way camp in L.A. We recently had went back and forth with them over the Mark of the Beast, controversy. But this is that same group, and they happen to be on a corner on so-called Halloween. So this had to have been, going back to last October, where you had this so-called black woman and her son come up. All right, and what you're going to see is the exact reason why the scriptures say what it says concerning the woman. All right, it says in Apocrypha, Sirach 25 and 24, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all died. All right, through her collaboration with the serpent, the devil, all right, that brought the introduction of death into the world. All right, and the ways of death was pleasant to the eyes of Eve, and she shared that with Adam. All right, and thus here we are to this very day. Okay, so that's why Esau would rather have it to where our households would be single parent households, because he has a better way of getting through to the children and taking hold of their mind with the father not being there. And this is a result of that. So you're going to see this in this little clip. It's like 5 minutes. I'm not going to play the whole thing, maybe about 4 minutes of it. But if you haven't seen it, well, I'm going to play the interaction right here, and you're going to see for yourself that, this is definitely, part of the curse. But also it goes to show you, how defiant our people really are, man. And that's why the Lord said he's going to, when our people get afflicted, basically when the Lord put the fire to Jake's ass, then that's when they're going to, see. All right, when shit hit the fan and the Most High put that fire to Jake, he put the sword on him, then that's when they're going to try to acknowledge their offense, but it's going to be too damn late. All right, this is out of order, and you're getting ready to see that. So without further ado, let's play the video.
We love our people, that's why we come out here, but I got one question for you, right? Are you in a single parent household? It's y'all too? Right. You know the things that's happening in your life right now is all biblical prophecy. Your husband not being around is biblical prophecy to raise your son?
That's not my husband.
Okay, the one that you lay down with?
I already know this.
You know that, right? Now you know why that happened?
It was already built in time. It was
But it was a reason why, though, mama.
keep us down.
See, the single parent households that our people are subjugated to, right? See these days?
It's because we're cursed. It tells you that in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that, the woman, her eye will be evil towards the husband of her bosom. And also the husband, his eye would be evil towards the wife of his bosom. And that he would actually leave her. Okay? And also part of that is because, men, they do not want to come home, to masculine energy. They do not want to have to deal with, a combative spirit, rather than a spirit, a woman that's willing to cooperate and submit. Our women, they didn't become masculine under that feminist women's lib vibration. Men don't want to deal with that. So after the child is had, it's like the curse activates. So the man, he just leaves. All right, and that leaves room for Esau to, come right up in there and take hold of the household and the child. All right, but let's continue.
It's not coincidental. Your husband or the dude that you lay down with, not meaning, well, he's your husband according to the scripture. Okay, the dude that you lay down with,
and you can tell by how she conduct herself and how she's responding that she's very combative. She's argumentative. She probably fight you. And it even tells you that in Proverbs, I think it might be Ecclesiastes. I'd rather dwell on the house of on the rooftop. I'd rather dwell with a dragon than with a contentious or a brawling woman. All right, No man wants to deal with that kind of energy. But that's what a lot of men, especially amongst us, amongst the so-called black man, that's what they got to deal with. Thanks to the serpent. He put them poisonous ideas in her head, and now she thinks she's on the level of her men. So this is what's going on. So who's left to raise our sons, the men of our the young men of our nation? Isaiah 3 and let me get that. Let's go to Isaiah 3. I hope the video will play where I left off at. But let's get this quick script. You already know these scriptures. It's Isaiah 3 and 12. It says, "As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them." And thus, we became a matriarchal community rather than a patriarchal. See, when we were under the patriarchal structure, we had everything in order. The woman, she submitted. Or the child, they came up under both the father and the mother. They learned instruction. The mother, she took care of her housely duties as a wife, and the man went out and provided. But now, the man is out of the picture. Okay? And, I mean, who did that? Esau. He set up that system, and the woman chose the system. She chose the state rather than her husband, because the state would be able to give her benefits. All right? And it gave her the insinuation that she'd be able to do better on her own with the government, or the job that she's able to get, because she can work now, which that was all set up by the Rockefellers. Bring women into the workforce, give them what they want so that they can think that they have equal power with the man. Give them the idea, oh, we're breadwinners too, so we don't need you. And then also we can tax them. So not only we could tax the men, but we can also tax the women. Now we could divide the households up. You see? So Esau was very strategic, and it tells you that in Mark the 3rd chapter. What did Yahweh Shai said? He said, "No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then spoil his house." So they got rid of the man. All right. And now you have a bunch of single women, single mother households, which makes it more easier for Esau to get up in there. And now the school system, the so-called educational system, is indoctrinating and brainwashing your child. The entertainment, the media, the cartoons, the programs, there's a lot of mind programming. And then a woman, of course, being simple as she is, because the Lord didn't impart to her wisdom or understanding, she goes right along and conform to Esau and learn his wicked ways, and she passes that down to her children. So she's the first introduction of white supremacy to our children. So now you got Esau by way of our the women ruling over us. It says, "O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths." All right, and the way of the wicked is as darkness, man. So as soon as you're born right into darkness, man. Because Eve is gonna, she gonna feed that, the fruit from that tree to her children. You see? So when you go back, let's watch now. Damn, I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Let this ad go
Buy
by.
Allegra D for allergy congestion relief at your pharmacy counter.
All right, let me skip ahead a little.
It was already built in time. It was
But there was a reason why, your mama. husband 82, right? To these days, that's not coincidental. Your husband or the dude that you lay down with, not meaning, well, he's your husband according to the scripture. Okay? The dude that you lay down with.
And they're not even taught that. You know, that's how you know we've been here too damn long. You know, because we were never told, you know, the ways of righteousness. We grew up right here in Babylon the Great. All right, and we learned the ways of the wicked. A woman were never told that the moment you lay with a man, he becomes your husband. And that's why they're a bunch of whores. It says that in Amos that, you know, our wives shall be harlots in the city. So that's prophecy too, that our women will be harlots. Because they all done slept with more than one man in their life. They slept with multiple men. And she even admitted that her husband is not even the father of this child here. So you know she's lost. Raising a son.
And he's not there, it's all biblical prophecy. You see what I'm saying? And look, young boys need their fathers.
His father's in his life.
His father's in his life?
We just not.
Y'all not together no more, right? Okay, now look. I want to ask you a simple question. Alright. Does his father know that his son played with dogs?
Yeah! Yes, he do. You want to go there?
And if that's true, then he's a Dwayne Wade type of nigga. All right, he basically, you know, the way he was raised. All right, that guy didn't have no nuts. He had no balls. The scriptures say, train up a child in the way that he should go. All right, and when he gets older, he will not depart from you. Obviously, that father, if this is true, you know, he wasn't raised right. If he's all right with his child, his son, you know, transforming over. All right. That means that he's buying into the wine, the ideology, the poison, and he's all right with his son. That explains a lot, but that's wicked as hell. All right. If you a sane man, if you're a man of wisdom, all right, you're a masculine man. There's no way in hell that you would be all right with that. All right, the scriptures tell us, remember to show yourselves men.
You know what? Because he does hair. He know how to do that. He know how to do that. He know how to do all that. Okay, so now what?
Now look.
Here.
Go ahead, right?
Yes, he does hair.
Now listen, mama.
Here, hold on.
That's inappropriate according to the truth.
No, I don't care. So what?
So
You
you don't
gotta
know
learn
what God say?
You gotta learn somewhere. You want him to play with your
Get
hair?
order. We gotta get order according to the truth. Now listen, mama. That's out of order.
Well, if you're a male, he ain't supposed to have long hair any damn way. Let's get that, because that's effeminate, and this is how they're teaching their sons how to be effeminate, to be like women. This is what's raising these young boys, man. And you wonder why they're not growing up to be men. A lot of our women complain about how men are not men today. Well, you can't raise men without men. So why do you keep thinking that you could do it on your own? Let's go to 1 Corinthians 11. It is 1 Corinthians 11 and 14. It says, "Doeth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering." All right. So a male, he's not supposed to have long hair like a woman, because that's shameful. That's effeminate. All right. And women are supposed to have long hair, but you can see, well, with our women, they got cursed. Going back to Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. Because of their haughtiness, because of their pride. Like you see that woman, she's proud. And they wonder why they got to use extensions to have extra set of hair. Or they got to wear weave and, they got to sew and weave and shit, man. The Lord said he would smite you with baldness, man. He would smite you with a scab of the crown of the daughters of Zion. So you don't have long hair like the rest of the women. That's their glory. But then you raising these young boys and their hair is growing longer than yours. And that's a damn shame. And you wonder why the Lord said, you know, my people, I planted you as a noble vine, but you are become a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me. It's just totally ass backwards, man. But anyway, let's go back to the video. I hope it, damn, every time, huh? All right, let me see if I can, all right, let's go. Let's forward it. I think I left off like around here somewhere. And here you go. Here you go. See, in the ancient world, that little niglet, all right, that whatever that is, would not make it. Pursuant to Deuteronomy, the 21st chapter and the 19th verse on down, he would not make it. They will put that they will put this little nigga to death, man. And male energy is not raising this. All right, you have a rebellious woman that's raising that. And this is the reason why it tells you in Sirach, the 3rd chapter. Let me see if I can go to it. I hate that every time I leave off from the video, it got to start all the way back to the beginning, but it's all good. But let me go to it real quick. And it's in the Apocrypha. And this, like I said, Esau knows that when a man is there, it's a better chance that the child is going to be raised with balance. You know, he's going to be raised with all the proper ingredients needed, you know, for a child to be raised into a man, you know, with a balanced household. You get nurtured, nurturing from the mother and getting, you know, structure from the father, man. You know, getting instruction, getting, manhood, you know, getting manly skills. You're gonna get that with a man. But when you take that out of the house, that's it. This is Sirach 3 in verse 9. It says, "For the blessing of the father establisheth the houses of children." All right. If the father is there, then you have, you know, an established household. All right, where the blessings come from the father. Esau knows that's why he got rid of the father. So we don't really have true households. It says, "But the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations." All right. It roots out foundations. That's why we can't be a nation. Because the family structure is destroyed due to Esau's devices. And Eve, she took hold of that. Okay? She took hold of that, man. That's why, going back to Sirach 24, of the woman became the beginning of sin, and through her we all died. When you go to that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, going back to the beginning, it said that the Most High created man to be immortal and made to be in an image of his own eternity, but nevertheless through envy of the devil came death into the world. And they that do hold of his side do find it. Eve, she holds dear to that side. And that's the reason why death finds our people the way it does. Okay? So this is what we got to deal with, man. Okay? Now she got a little effeminate, all right, little noodle spined son that's disobedient, out of order, talking disrespectful to grown men. So he doesn't have any respect because Eve doesn't teach her sons that. So let's go back.
That's inappropriate. That should not be happening.
No, hold on. I can play whatever I
Read that.
want to. You tell me.
See, that's subjugation and white supremacy right there, man. That's the reason why you believe that because of white supremacy.
Yep, that is white supremacy, man. Basically, Esau puts his bottle to our people so he can look upon their nakedness, man. And that bottle is that wine. All right, Esau's wine. He transgressive by wine, therefore he's a proud man. You know, he instructs our people in the way of wickedness instead of the ways of the Most High because he's the man of sin, the son of perdition. You know, so you have the devil teaching your children, and this is what this is the results. You know, this is what produces from that. The collaboration of Eve and the serpent. That's what you get. A young boy dressed up like a young girl carrying a purse with a doll in his hand, talking shit. This is why the Lord's gonna do what he's gonna do to the 2/3 of our people, man. All right? The Lord's gonna put that fire to you niggas, man. You're clearly destroyed. When people are Sodom's children, they have not known me, man. They're wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. That's why the Lord's gonna just wait. He gonna let Esau loose, man. All right. Now let me get real quick. Let's go to Sirach, the 30th chapter. And this is the reason why Esau fights so hard for us not to come into this truth. This is the reason why they demonize us. This is why, they're trying to censor us. They don't want this truth to really go out and wake up our people, because as long as we're in that dead state, as long as we're simple as hell and forwarding his white supremacist agenda, we will remain destroyed as a people, and that continues to give him his advantage, man. That keeps him in power. All right, this is a Sirach 30 and 1. It says, "He that loveth his son causeth him often to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end." And they're not whooping that little motherfucker's ass, man. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. You see that? Now, if he had a father in the home that knew the truth and was teaching his son, and his son actually would grow up masculine, or he would grow up with some kind of etiquette, some type of respect. That shit right there is what grieves Esau. To see us in order, that puts fear upon them. But when they see young Jakes like that, no, that man, they take joy in that, man. That makes their day to see a young boy like that. Probably like, man, we could turn him into a little sodomite. Turn him out, man. They prey on little young Jakes like that. It says, "And before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he have left one behind him that is like himself. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends." And see, we grow up not knowing who our enemy is, even though we see right through our very eyes of what the enemy does to us as a people. But you're still never taught who your enemy is, because your mother, she's a natural conformist, man. She's conformed to the image of this world. She conforms and complies. She wants you to get along with any and everybody. Take them to church to worship a Edomite version of our Lord. White supremacy, man. So Esau knows that as long as Jake is raised like this, There's no fight in Jake. There's no resistance. You can rule over people like that. But a man that's being told the truth and groomed up to be a man, he's a potential enemy. We gotta watch this guy, and that's how they look at all of us, especially those of us that are woken. It says, "And one that shall requite kindness to his friends, he that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, in his bowels will he be troubled at every cry. An horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful." Meaning that child will become stubborn and do what the hell he think he want to do, because he's left to himself. He's not being instructed. He's not being chastened. He's not often feeling the rod, man, of correction. All right. So that's why they grew up to be menaces. They grew up to be gang members, drug dealers, emotional, always ready to, get into trouble. It tells you how their feet be haste to run to mischief and shed innocent blood. They're violent. That's because you letting the environment raise them. Because the father ain't there. That's why you fathers, men need to be in their children's lives, man. Quit leaving your children. And I know, I'm not talking about brothers. I'm talking about, Jake in general, man. Man the hell up and take that responsibility, because this is what's killing us. This is what's destroying us as a people, man. Leaving your child with Eve, what do you think is going to happen? It says, "Conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with them, and he will bring thee to heaviness." He will cause shame to you, man. Laugh not with them, lest thou have sorrow with them, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. All right, and a father, a strict, stern father ain't gonna play that shit, man. Okay, that's why Furious Styles in the beginning, Trey was just like, man, this dude is hard. He's hard on me. But at the end, he appreciated his father. Same thing with that in that movie Fences with Denzel. He was doing what was right. A lot of people thought that he was, he was like a villainized character. But no, that's fatherhood. You're supposed to be that way with your sons, man. So they don't grow up to be fucking moles, man. It says, "Bow down his young and beat him on the sides while he's a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart." All right? And that's what's missing. This is the reason why, Jake, grew up and become a product of Babylon, man. Just total rebellion. Okay? And she's out of order, man. That's why she's going to be destroyed and her son is going to be destroyed. All right? And the Lord is not going to spare you. He don't care if you're a child or not. When you go to Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, let's go there real quick. He's not going to spare women or children. The Lord said judgment must begin at his house, man. Ezekiel 9 and verse 4, it says, "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing," and that's, the men that sighing and crying, are the prophets, man. The men that's out there calling our people to repentance, telling them to, put the shrimp down, put the swine down. All right, quit popping your boy's woman. Quit committing adultery. You women, cover yourself up. Quit being harlots. Quit riding a cock carousel. Get out of the Christian church. Come out of all these religions. All right. Quit being a damn sodomite and a lesbo. Those are all the ways of the wicked, man. As long as we continued in those ways, we've been on a downward spiral. We deteriorated as a people. You wonder why we're in the lowest conditions of all nations of the people on the earth. You did that to yourself. So we're sighing and crying about these things, man. It says, unto the others, he said, in mine hearing, go you after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Don't show no compassion, man. Because these people, they had a chance. The Lord sent his prophets out there. He raised them up early, telling you to return back to the way of the Father. Return to the old way. You heard you saw your teachers. They were not removed into any corners. They out there, man. We all over the internet. We all on all we on the street corners in various cities all throughout Babylon and throughout the world. Jake ain't got no excuse. So when the Lord, released them death angels, man, them destroyers, Jake is getting a just due. They getting got. All right, judgment is proceeding. All right, and we don't lift up cry nor prayer anytime judgment is executed, because the Lord is righteous in his judgments. He's known by the judgments which he executes. All right, so we hear about little children dying. As fucked up as it is, but it's still judgment. All right, it says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. That little niglet, dressed up on Halloween with his little doll. The Most High ain't gonna discriminate, man. And women. All right, you irresponsible mothers out there, man. Not doing the right thing. You're gonna get it too. It says, but come not near any man who is the mark. All right, which that mark is the mark of exemption from judgment. The same men that are out there prophesying. The elect. It says, and begin at my sanctuary, then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. All right, so the Lord, he's gonna come through. All right, he's gonna wipe out a lot of Jake, man, of all the tribes. Cause this right here, this is the disgrace, totally out of order, man. Little effeminate ass boy, and this out of order ass trifling ass mom. This is why you need the men in the house. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna end off right there. Hopefully this was edifying. I'm gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. Until the next lesson, Shalom.